Here we go, the 2025 Miami Grand Prix here this weekend. As we are here this weekend for the Miami Sprint Week, and this is the second sprint round of the year, and we're racing around 5.412 kilometers of circuit, and the sprint will be 19 laps, 3.5 meters in elevation, and there are no mandatory pit stops in the sprint, but it's 19 laps and anything can happen. And this Miami Crypto.com circuit, and it all starts down at turn number 1 as the sprint is soon to get underway and the sun is beaming on the circuit. Does that make a difference to track conditions? Most likely. It most likely will. Here today, Miami contract has been extended and will remain on the F1 calendar until 2041. 2041. We will have it on the calendar and it will be up and ready until then. Here, as we take a look here through the Hard Rock Stadium, and this is the paddock. This is just the paddock area. This is the paddock area. Through the Hard Rock. This is insane. I love that shot. I genuinely do. And you can sit in the grandstands and watch from the screens, which is quite cool. I love doing that. I reckon I'd probably do it just for a living, to be honest. But yeah, the weather conditions at the moment, it is partly cloudy, 28 degrees, and a track temperature of 50 degrees. The track temperatures come up by 10 degrees. It is 8 degrees. 80 Fahrenheit. Here is the Friday format works is practice 1 and then straight into sprint qualifying and then sprint on Saturday for qualifying and then a race on Sunday, 57 laps. And the Crypto.com Miami Grand Prix circuit. Oscar Piastri sitting there in the pit lane. He probably knows he has a bit of pace under his feet. So, well, I mean, he does have about 10,000 RPM under his foot, so he has plenty to play with. But and there you go, Oliver Behrman. He's bringing that car out of the pit lane. That is epic. After the crash that car had in practice 1, just under about an hour and a half ago. So there's not much time, and you can see there the fresh P0 Pirelli medium tyres are on those cars, and the green light goes at the end of the pit lane. It is just 12 minutes to set a lap time on the medium tyres. So that's why you saw 90% of people running on the mediums in the first practice session. I was expecting a few soft ones, being you need as much gathering of data as possible. But that wasn't a thing. So they didn't actually end up doing that, which is, to me, a shock. There's Max Verstappen. That car has pace, but he hasn't been able to show the true potential of that pace inside that Red Bull. This weekend, possibly hoping he can show that pace. That is Jack Doohan on board with him as he comes out of the pit lane. Stop. Oh, that was close. Unsafe. Liam Lawson had to brake, otherwise I would have gone into him, and the mechanic was telling him to stop. Okay, so yeah, so that's unsafe release, possibly for one of the Visa Cash App cars. Team won't be very happy about that one, but Ollie Behrman, that is great to see. That car had suspension damage at the end of FP1. They're able to retrieve it within time. Here we go. So sprint qualifying, how this format works. 12 minutes. 5 cars get knocked out at the end of this one. SQ2, another 5 get knocked out. That's only 10 minutes. SQ3, it is 8 minutes. So you have 34 minutes to do as many laps as you possibly can. 34 minutes of qualifying still to come. So it's on Lando Norris. Yeah, this is inside his garage here, and they're going to now bring that car out of the pit lane, and that is some brand new medium compound tyres. So they're giving Lando a lot of space here between him and the next car. So they're trying to give Lando some track position in qualifying, leaving him out a bit later than normal. Carlos Sainz up in the Williams, in the 55 Williams. There he was quick at practice. So Sonoda there over the radio saying, I want to change the helmet after this one because the wind is blowing like hell. So the wind is playing a factor, and so is the track temperature. Track temperature is 50 degrees ambient. It's 44 ambient. So track has gone up by 10 degrees. Ambient has gone up by 5. So that is how much this track evolves through this session. And they'll probably be... I can tell you this much, they won't be struggling for tyre temperature, unlike Jeddah, when we were there at Jeddah, struggling for tyre temperature. They won't be here because of the track temperature and the ambient of this circuit. It is insane. Through the double apex of turn, if we head up to the highway section, this is 200 kilometers an hour on the approach, and you brake into turn 15, use every little bit of curb. Left, right, turn 16 here. At the other side, we got Lando Norris get real close to that wall in FP1. Hulkenberg to the top of the moment over Kimi Bortoleto, and then Verstappen as well. He's currently on a lap at the moment. He's purple to the first and second sector. Sonoda bumps up into second. So Hulkenberg, it's got the fastest time. It's 28.9. That's a really quick lap. It's not going to be here for Verstappen. It is nearly a second faster, 27.9. So already looking extremely quick for these opening few minutes, 27.9. There is Paul Monghan, the chief executive of Verstappen's car, chief executive of Red Bull. Leclerc on screen at the moment, as everybody files in for their lap times. Verstappen's quick at the moment, 27.9. His lap time. Can anybody knock that off? I reckon the two McLarens will. Leclerc at the moment, he's heading through turn 8. We saw in F1 Academy a lot of cars struggling through there, through turn 8. Leclerc at the moment, personal best of the first sector, turn 10. And then into, this is turn 11. Down here as we right on board with the rear wing of Leclerc. This is the double apex. 2 double apexes around here. Leclerc, personal best of the first sector, 0.2 of a second off. He's 0.3 faster than Albon to that first sector. Alonso moves up to third. He's down to 28.7. Watch out for Piastri. Nice. Russell and Antonelli to improve. 0.4 off of that lap time there. So he's now only 0.1 quicker than Albon to that second sector. So far, it's looking quick here for Leclerc. Personal best of the first 2 sectors. Hamilton moves up to second. So Verstappen's lap time is holding strong here. 128.2 from Hamilton. Verstappen 27.9. Leclerc 28.3. Lost about 0.1 in that last sector. 28.364 for Leclerc. Here's Cammy Condon, the actor F1 for the F1 movie. This is Lando Norris. He's quick to the first and second sector. He will go to the top. He will. 27.890 by 0.1 of a second. 0.13 of a second. There. But watch out for Piastri as well, because I reckon he will improve on that time. He will most likely knock everybody off there on that time. Nice. He's going on with it, which is to be expected. His Piastri, what's his lap going to be? It's quick. It's not quick enough. He's still 2 tenths off Verstappen. So, it seems as if that's 27.8 is looking strong. There you go. Leclerc saying, I touched the wall out of turn 16. So, that is where Russell is. So, that's after the castle section. So, after the highway section, that's where he's bumped the wall. Antonelli to the top. 127.858 for Kimi Antonelli. Quick from him. Sector 3, that is a really quick time. 24.923. It's less than a tenth separating the top 3. Less than a second separating the top 10. Which immediately you know that this session is going to be quick. Marcus Dudley, the senior race engineer of Russell for Mercedes-AMG. This is Leclerc. This is what he was talking about. Touch the wall at turn 16. Oh. He could have said that he didn't touch the wall then. And I probably would have believed him. Because, oh, actually this much, oh, okay, maybe he did. Maybe he did touch the wall. So, that's, oh, yeah. 0 centimeters separates the wall and Leclerc's suspension arm. This is Gabriel Bortoletto, understeer, back in the wall. Check my right side tyre. I touched on the exit of turn 16. So he touched the right side tyre on the exit of turn 16 there, and fans trying to get cool because of course it is nearly 44 degrees ambient. Going through a heat wave here in Miami. 3.5 or so minutes to go in SQ1. Yeah, but of course, 2 sessions on the medium compound tyres, and then you run into SQ3 and you get the soft compound tyres, which is the grippier of the 2 tyres, but 27.8 from Kimi Antonelli, followed by Lando Norris, Verstappen, Piastri, Russell, Hamilton, Leclerc, Albon, Alonso, Ocon, Sainz, Gasly, Hulkenberg, Lawson, Stroll, Doohan, Tsunoda, Bortoletto, and Behrman. And Isaac Hadjar, who's not actually done a lap. That is the Alpine in the wall of the pit and exit there. So as he's went to go turn out of the pit lane, he hasn't turned enough and he's gone in the wall. So I don't think there's any damage physically to that car. That's always a good sign, but 2.5 minutes to go here in this session. 27.858 is that first sector. Fans watching on here at Miami, seeing who gets pole for possibly the sprint. Well, what will be the sprint. That is... I wonder who will take sprint pole here. But I reckon Piastri might take sprint pole. Seeing by what happened in FP1 and how quick he was, he will take sprint pole. Now, in practice, we saw 29.1 from Piastri. It's now 27.8. So, that's how... Wow, so that's quite quick. So the track is improving, but you'd think with nearly 50-degree ambient that the track could just get worse, because look at the amount of sunlight there is on the circuit at the moment. So where they probably now will be making their time is through the back part here. There's no sunlight on the circuit through turn 19 and 20. This is going to be good. We're about to get a real fast last 1.5 minutes of this session. We've got Antonelli, Norris, Verstappen, Piastri. Everybody's on a lap. Everybody is going to improve. Stroll. What's this first lap going to be? What's this lap going to be here from Stroll? He's on the cusp of being knocked out. I think he is going to be knocked out at this point. Stroll. First sector has to be strong from him. 3 tenths off. He's done a 29.6 to the first sector. He's 0.3 off. So he's on par with Russell. DRS open. Nearly 340 kilometers an hour. Top speed with nearly 390. Yeah. Nearly 350 kilometers an hour top speed. Nice. Stroll. Hulkenberg. They're on a lap. Hulkenberg, that first sector. It's not as strong as what Stroll did, but we'll definitely bump him up. He's down in 13th at the moment. He's 1 second off the pace. 0.7 down for Stroll. He's currently only on to move up 4 spots. Hulkenberg is up by 4 tenths. This is going to be a good lap here from Hulkenberg. He might have a tow. Bortoletto is quick in the second sector. So he was down in the first sector, He must have had a toe. He's done a 29.6 for his first lap. He's quick at the moment. Stroll, he doesn't move up. He doesn't even move up. He's lost nearly, 7/10 in that last sector. 15th for Stroll. He will be knocked out. Sonoda, Hulkenberg up into 9th. He improves. Sonoda does not improve. He's out in SQ1. Bortoletto. Oh, he lost nearly 7/10 in that last sector. He stays 18th. Isaac Hadjar, he's not done a lap. He's counting on a one-shot quali for himself. Hadjar, real sideways for Isaac Hadjar. What's this lap going to be? P8, he's into SQ2. Alonso, he's on a lap at the moment. He's P11 at the moment. He's 0.9 off. He's up into P10. He's only moved up a spot. Carlos Sainz down there in 13th. He's possibly not going to improve. Meanwhile, Russell, he's on a stonking first sector. He's done a 29.1 to that first sector. It's going to be quick. Carlos Sainz up into 30. He's got the fastest third sector, 127.899. Russell now improves, 127.6. The two Mercs are quick. Albon third, 1.17, proving that I was wrong in practice, that they just don't have practice pace. They both have qualifying and practice pace. So it's looking good for Williams to be close in sprint quali. Ocon up into 9th. Where's Behrman? He's down in P20. He doesn't improve. There's still Piastri to improve. Watch out for him. This is nice. Oh. So he got impeded. We didn't get impeded, but he got slowed up. What's he got to say over the radio? Yeah, there you go. He got held up. Yeah, understood. That was Max. So Max might be in a bit of strife here. Suzuki Tsunoda. Whoa. Okay, so that's his teammate. Yuki actually got held up. So he actually ended up running out of time. So that's the reason why he didn't improve. So Yuki probably would have improved. Oh no, this is okay, no, so he didn't actually end up improving. That is one of the Alpines. They were to the left hand side, but that is for everybody there. The eliminated drivers in SQ1, Stroll, Doohan, Tsunoda, Bortoletto, and Ollie Behrman eliminated in SQ1. Behrman lacking for a bit of pace here in SQ1. Doohan there over the radio. Debriefing there with his engineer, quite possibly. 0.25 he got knocked out by. How tight? How margins can be tight here at Miami. It's 1 second separating the top 9 cars are separated by less than 1 second. So it is quite tight out there. But I'll be back here with SQ2 in around about 2 minutes' time. Okay, so in that session, in terms of the straights, it was Carlos Sainz who was quickest in the straight by 0.1 over Albon, and Antonelli, Russell and Piastri, who was 0.3 slower in the straight. So just those tiny increments of a kilometre or two slower puts you nearly 2 or 3 tenths down. So barely any time to set the cars up this weekend, and that is why we love this game, because it is so unbelievably tight and so unbelievably fun. Yeah, but in that last session, it was George Russell who topped the session over Kimi Antonelli. And then Alex Albon up there in third. So looking good as sprint qualifying 2 heads underway. And we've got some fast times still to come as this session will ramp up. Only 10 minutes in this one, and then you've only got 8 minutes in the next one. So 10 minutes doesn't give you a lot of time to put a lap in. As the cars wait at the end of the pit lane for the green light to go on, it actually should be on there. So drivers taking their time coming out of the pit lane. But Ferrari fans up there in the grandstands watching on, cheering as well for some of their favourites. I saw a few Ferrari flags as well while I was watching the off-cam stuff. So, yeah, cool. Cool indeed. But there's Lewis Hamilton as well. He's running Ferrari colours this year. If you missed it, he's running Ferrari colours this year. There's Isaac Hadjar as well. RB, they've got a pink and white livery here this weekend for the Racing Bulls. So yeah. Of course, if you missed my FP1 at the end of SQ, I will put it in the description of this stream here. But while I'm waiting, I might as well start recording for a video, because I mean, I have nothing else better to do than to record for a video. So okay, let me do an intro. Let's do this. Okay, so we've got SQ1 that has just finished here today. We just saw we just saw 5 cars got eliminated in that first session. It is now time for SQ2. So I've started this video a little bit late, but again, we live and we learn. I sort of forgot to start recording. So it is now time for SQ2. We saw a few drivers got eliminated in that last session. It is now time for SQ2. Let's see who can put. Let's see who gets eliminated in this one. Verstappen purple to the first sector, 28.7. At the moment, he's improving, and he's the fastest to the first sector, 28.9. Fastest first sector in the last one was at 28.3. So not as quick for pace for Verstappen, at least not in this one. As he through the chicane of the highway section and makes his run out of turn 16. This is probably the most important run as you make your way down into the braking zone of turn 17. Russell at the moment is quick to the first sector. Now, of course, there will be a bit of a happy hour in this one. See who gets pole. Verstappen, 27.7, the first lap to beat there. So, Verstappen, he sort of did his lap on 1 lap. He did 1 lap, and that was practically it for Verstappen, if you think about it. Really? If you really think about it, that was it for Verstappen. And just for himself, he just practically did 1 lap. Russell, 27.7, he doesn't move anywhere. He stays third. So, Antonelli at the moment, his teammate is leading. Albon's improving. Personal best first and second sector. 28.1. He stays 4th. What does Hamilton do? Here, he's down in 7th. This is the on-board view for Hamilton as he makes his run now down into turn 20. Hamilton up into P5, half a second off. Nice and Piastri are improving. Nice is the fastest second sector, 33.3. It's a 27.5, nearly 2/10 faster than Kimi Antonelli. Piastri is also improving, makes his run now into turn 20. And what's that going to be? 27.3. Quick lap from Piastri. Leclerc is also improving. There's still Alonso, Sainz, Ocon, Gasly, Hadjar, Hulkenberg, Lawson still to improve. Leclerc moves up to 6th, 0.4 off the pace, so not as quick as what he wanted it to be. Russell over the radio. I'm not liking this tyre, so Russell not exactly in tune with this tyre for himself, but he's P5 at the moment. He's not liking the medium rubber, the medium tyre. But of course, in this next session, you get the soft rubber. So you get the grip that you've been needing. So yeah. Sometimes it's not the tyre. Sometimes it's the track conditions. When you've got a bunch of rubber on the circuit and then the sun comes out, the track tends to get really greasy. So maybe it's a bit of grease on the circuit that's just sort of struggling a little bit for a bit of pace, but Albon taking every little bit of curb, struggling for grip for Russell maybe. Yeah, so the medium tyres he's not liking the medium tyres as much. So Gasly's currently out there at the moment. He's on an out lap. 3.5 minutes to go here in this one. It might be a case of just bleeding the tyre pressures and heading back out. Depends. What do you want to do with the tyre pressures here? As Hamilton makes his way back into the pit lane. It's 80 k's into the pit lane. At the moment, it is Oscar Piastri, though, 27.3. The fastest lap time so far. But you still got Ocon, Gasly, Hadjar. At the moment, Hamilton is not safe. So Hamilton, not safe. No, but it is Leclerc dominating over Hamilton through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Actually, turn 1 and turn 2, Hamilton are quick. But 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18, plus 19 and 20, Leclerc is quicker. So, through every other part of the circuit, he's quicker. Gasly, he's now out on the circuit. That's a good way to break it down. But yeah, Gasly's currently out on the circuit at the moment. And he's about to start his first flying lap. This is one of the Williams cars. I think this is Alex Albon. It is Alex Albon. Makes his way through the chicane and the highway section, I like to call it, because there's a highway practically right above it. And he gets ever so close with the wall. I don't know how that Merc is legal. So apparently the Merc in front, I think that was Russell, maybe cut the chicane a little bit. Maybe. That might be the case. But people now trying to find a bit of space here. Gasly at the moment, he's on his flying flyer. At this point, what everybody else will be hoping, and what people have done, they would have practically just dropped the tyre pressures and sent them back out there. Built the tyre pressure back up and going again. Gasly, at the moment, he's improving. Well, this is his first lap. So, he's on par at the moment with Hamilton. He's about 1,000th quicker than Hamilton. He's 2/10 faster than Hamilton. He's 1,000th faster than Leclerc. 2/10 faster than Hamilton. So at the moment, Gasly is stronger than the two Ferraris. I couldn't get it out of my mouth. Personal best first sector. What's this second sector? Oh, he's had a nudge with the wall. Gasly has had a nudge with the wall. Second sector, he lost a few tenths there, but he's had a quite a hefty nudge with the wall. Probably the biggest nudge we've seen so far. 50 seconds to go in the session. Personal best first, second sector. Verstappen goes to the top. He's done a 27.245. So the mediums, they tend to get better and better as this tends to go on. Gasly, he lost nearly half a second in that last sector, 28.1. He goes 8th. He's not safe. It's 10th. Well, I don't reckon Gasly would be safe at this point. At the moment, Carlos Sainz, he's on the cusp. Pierre Gasly, this is what happened with him as he now runs through the chicane section. Bang. Had a smack with the wall there. So not the biggest smack with the wall. Oh, yeah, 0 centimeters. The AWS centimeter tracker shows us that he's a little bit too close to the wall. Now, I won't be surprised if there's suspension damage there. Maybe steering damage. Sector 2 at the moment. Norris is quick. He's quick at the moment, Lando Norris. Hamilton is on the cusp. Lewis Hamilton is on the cusp. Lando Norris goes to the top. He's done a 1:27.109. Fastest so far. Verstappen, he's 0.1 off. He's second at the moment. Hamilton's knocked out. Gasly's moved up to 10th. It's a one-shot qualifying for those guys that haven't done a lap yet. Leclerc moves up into 4th. He's safe. I reckon he'd be safe at this point. Alonso, Sainz, Hadjar and Lawson still haven't done a lap. Personal best the first and second sector for Alonso. This lap is not good enough to put him to the top, or unless he finds a miracle time out of the final sector. What's this going to be? P7. He's done a 27.766 to put him P7. Carlos Sainz, he's rolled out of it. He's out here in SQ2. He's only got 30% throttle. So he's out in this session. Antonelli, personal best, first, second sector. It's going to be a long afternoon for Carlos Sainz. Antonelli, P4.2 off. Lawson, he's improving. Albon, he's also improving. Lawson goes 14th. He doesn't improve. What does Hamilton do? I don't reckon Hamilton will be able to improve here. Will have used too much of his tyre. He does improve by nearly 7/10. He's done a 27.5. Hamilton goes up to 6th. Russell's still on to improve. Or unless I'm wrong. But he's 0.3. He's qualified by 0.3. So if he didn't improve by that 0.3, he would have been out of this session. But the people that are out of this session, Nico Hulkenberg. But car 55, Carlos Sainz his lap's been deleted. So there you go. And that is for cutting. Oh! That is a nasty lock-up for Carlos Sainz and the Williams. Oh, he's so lucky. He is so unbelievably lucky for Carlos Sainz to not rip the right front suspension off that car. But SQ2 is done. Qualifying is done for Hulkenberg, Ocon, Gasly, Lawson, and Carlos Sainz. Lawson saying, my God, that was bad. And that is because of the track temperature, Liam. Most likely. And it's also because you don't have the maximum grip that you need. So people struggling out there on the medium tyres. Lawson, this is a lock up into turn 16. Oh! Understeer right in. And he practically locked the right front tyre up. And he just went straight on. Wasn't able to control it. And that is SQ2 done. And Liam Lawson will not be happy with that one. about to get underway, and welcome here to Miami. Sprint qualifying is about to get underway. It is now time to choose who gets pole for the sprint, as now we are going to see some even quicker lap times. It's the soft compound tyres that are going to be used for the session. So there are 6 sets of softs here this weekend, so that's why you didn't see many people use the softs in practice. So this one's going to be interesting. We've now only got 8 minutes to decide this one, and how people use their rubber in this one is going to be quite interesting. Bolted on now, the soft tyres, and that is nice in the garage there. But people now on the soft tyres, we are about to see some quick lap times here in qualifying as we race around through the highway section and through the back straight as well. This is through like turn 9 and turn 10. Now the red light hasn't come on yet. The green light hasn't come on yet, so nobody's actually out on the circuit. But this is inside Hard Rock Stadium. There are pools that you can just sit in. You can just relax whilst watching the Formula 1 Grand Prix. So that's quite cool, and I'd definitely be one person to be doing that. Green light is on at the end of the pit lane, and we are now going to get SQ3. Let's see who gets pole here in qualifying. SQ3, 7.5 minutes to go in this one. Brand new soft rubber. Nice at Piastri. Verstappen, most of the top 10 have not used the soft compound tyre this weekend. So it's going to be the first time that they run on this tyre. It's going to be interesting to see what grip it gives off. 7 minutes, 8 minutes in this session, 50 seconds gone. And for most drivers at this point, you'll be running at the very end of this session. Verstappen, Russell Norris, Piastri, Antonelli, Leclerc, Hamilton, Albon, Alonso, and Hadjar are to decide the pole for the sprint. Hadjar, he just got in by the brink of his fingernails. By 0.1, he got in SQ2. Let's see who takes pole. I reckon Piastri will take pole. He's currently leading the championship, the 2025 Drivers' Championship. There's Toto Wolff, the team principal and CEO of Mercedes. Verstappen, though, he's third in the championship. He's 87 points. He's 12 points off of Piastri. This is important. Verstappen ramps up his lap. Full throttle as he rounds turn 20 and makes his way onto the front straight. This is his first lap here in SQ3. Only Verstappen and Russell are out there. We've still got Norris, Piastri, Antonelli, Leclerc, Hamilton, Albon, Alonso, and Hadjar still in the pit lane. Verstappen, he's currently out on his lap at the moment. He's currently on his lap, and he's reaching around 300 kilometers an hour as he heads into turn 5. Maximum attack, maximum grip, and there's not as much sunlight on the circuit anymore. The track temperature has dropped. It's 48 degrees, 28.6. It's 0.3 off the fastest first sector we've seen so far. Only 0.3, but it's a pretty good lap. Pretty good first sector. Russell, he's also out there at the moment. We'll see what his first sector is like. He's 1,000th slower than Verstappen in that first sector. It's a personal best. Verstappen, what's this second sector going to be like for him? 5 minutes to go. Expect Norris, Piastri, Antonelli, Leclerc, Hamilton, Albon, Alonso, and Hadjar to come out of the pits any moment now. Verstappen gets as close as you possibly can to the wall. I reckon it's about a centimetre. It's the fastest second sector we've seen so far. 101.9. 101.967 for Verstappen. It's the fastest first sector, or the fastest second sector I've noted so far. 101.944. Russell's just taken that off him. So it's the fastest second sector we've seen so far for both Verstappen and Russell. This is going to be quick. 27.0 for Verstappen. Quick indeed. 0.4 faster than SQ2. 0.2 faster than SQ2. Russell's improving. First and second sector, what's his lap going to be? 26.7. He's gone to the top by nearly 3/10 over Russell, over Verstappen. So the Mercs are quick on the grippy softs. Extremely quick. And George Russell by nearly 3/10. There's not as much sunlight in the circuit. It's looking good. And he actually used a lot of curb through turn 7. Through the double apex right-hander. And, I was so lucky to not get track limits there for George Russell. It's as close as you want to be to track limits, I can tell you that much. Ron Madawi's the sporting director for Mercedes-AMG. 3.5 minutes to go. Russell and Verstappen will have taken the maximum out of their tyres. So there won't be any more left in those softs, I don't reckon. You might be able to get one lap, but it probably won't be the best lap. 20% of the field have gone out there, and that is Russell and Verstappen. There's still, 70% of the fielders went out there. There's still 30% of the fielders went out there. 70% of the field still has to go out. So those guys, Russell and Verstappen, could be 9th and 10th at this point. Depending, new soft tyres is always good. It is always a good feeling to get brand new soft tyres on. So I reckon Russell and Verstappen, they won't be holding on to pole much longer. My bet's on for Piastri to take pole here in the sprint. Is most likely, I reckon, Piastri will take pole here in this one. See there the shine on the soft tyres. 2.5 minutes remaining. This is going to be good as these cars now roll out of the pit lane. Russell on a 26.7. Verstappen on a 26.9. It's 0.2 separating Russell and Verstappen. Remember, not everybody has done a lap. That is Zach Brown on the pit wall, the CEO of McLaren at the moment. Always a good weekend when it's a sprint weekend. Lewis Hamilton. He's improving. I reckon he will improve. My bet is for Piastri to get pole. 60 seconds left in this session. Who will get pole? Here we go.